Good day, YouTubers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. This came to me in a dream. Not really. I copied the part that they sell you in the catalog. So using the graph papers like we were before, I laid out a piece of, I think it's plywood, probably, pretty sure it's plywood, and got the angle right for the lines and the rat lines, and then just went over to the little jigsaw I got and cut those notches in the edge, and then tied a knot in the rope and went around and around and around and around all the way to the top, clamped it off, and then glued it. Now, because that board is actually touching the shrouds and the rat lines, I could have put a piece of wax paper back there, I guess, but the glue soaking into the rat lines and the shrouds would stick to the wood. So these are little skewers for shish kebabs or whatever when you're cooking, and I just stuck them back there to keep the shroud away from the board till it dries. So now we can cut all these tails along that line, and this board should release. So I haven't tried this yet, but yeah, that'll work. So they got 3 different boards in the catalog. I think 3, might be 2, but the picture of that gave me the idea. Why don't I just make my own? Just got to make it a little wider than the shrouds are, so you got room for that rope to wrap around away from where the last shroud is glued on at. There's one there that needs to be re-glued. It's one of the original ones I did last week. But this is definitely going to work. And I should be able to use this same board on the other side. Just turn it around. Need to keep a little pressure on them strings so I can cut them. Voila. So a little bit of waste, but it worked. Man, that saved a lot of time too. Now there's a little bit of white on there where the glue turns the rope. And I just take this magic marker and go over it wherever it's white at. A lot of detail work, touch it up, but I did both of these in about 4 hours or 3 hours. So that's the way to do it, the board and the glue. Yeah, that should work on the other side too. I haven't turned the ship around to check it, but I'm pretty sure it will. Just wonder if I put one of them sticks back there. That'll help hold it out. Easier to cut when it's out away from the wood. This is definitely the way to do it though. So after this, all three of the lower shrouds on the starboard side will be done. I might have to make a different board for the top set of shrouds. But as you can see, that works pretty good. The reason I didn't buy these from the kit or from the catalog is I was assuming I'd be tying little clove hitches on every one of these. But now that we've done it this way, I'll just make my own boards to custom fit each situation. Definitely a lot better than depending on the alligator clips. These are 5 millimeters apart based off this level line down here at the bottom. We made all these lines parallel with that and just used the ruler to mark it the first time, and I realized that when I mark one side and then go to the other side, it was different because this is a longer run than this is. So I had to use the graph paper instead to mark the board. And that's why there's two marks over here, where one is where the cut is and the other one below it. And I realized that the lines weren't going to be all level, so I had to remark it with the graph paper instead. So it works pretty good, just wrapping. And I put these on there for reference so you don't get mixed up. Every 3 rat lines I had them marked so I could keep everything level. Wow. A little bit of magic marking, and wow, that really made the job a lot easier. Rat lines are done on the bottom 3 shrouds on the starboard side. So we use this to cut the shapes out and cut the little notches in there. We lay them out over here on the table with the different correct size graph papers, so we knew that we were going to be consistent all the way up. But yeah, that worked good. Didn't take too long to make these. Just to lay them out took longer than it did to cut them. Make sure they're going to work in there right. And you got to be a little bit wider than you think, so you got room for the strings to overlap some before they go onto that notch. Alright, so what we've done since we got the rat lines done on the lower shrouds on this side is prepping the rest of the dead eyes that we need for the upper crow's nests. So we got 3 for the other side of this one, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta make one more for here because I need 6. And then we also made the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 of these for the lower part that will tie off on this bar that we did. So we got those ready, and I need to make one more of these for the top on both of the foremast and the mainmast. I'll be turning the ship around after I get these 3 on this side, and we'll start doing all the rat lines on the other side of the ship, and then we'll do the other dead eyes over there, and then I'm going to figure out how I want to do the rat lines on these upper sections. So that's what the board looks like that we made to do these rat lines. So I might be able to use them Yeah, I should be able to use the same board for the other two, or actually 4. And that'll make that go a lot quicker once we get those dead eyes done. Then we'll just have these top 3 here on each side that we have to make a different board for because it's so small. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, this board will work for the other side over there too. So that'll take care of that. And we'll make a small board that will work on these two, and these two. And we'll make it small enough where it'll work on all 3 masts to take care of the upper. So make one more board and lace up them top dead eyes, make one more dead eye. Got pretty good progress. I'm very happy with the way these came out. A lot simpler than trying to do it with the alligator clips. And it wasn't hard to make them boards. The key is the graph paper, because it comes with 5mm spacing already. You just got to cut it on the correct level so that all the rat lines stay level as a sailor climbs up. Wants the ropes to be level as he's climbing up. So you can see how fast that went. As that glue dries, it's going to shrink a lot. So areas like this where there's a little blob in there might be too much, but most of it's going to soak into the string. Just got to twirl your sticks every now and then so they don't stick. Because even the spot where the stick is touching the back of the rope, you can see on this one rope right there, there's glue already on the stick because it soaks through the string into the string. So you got to move them a little bit, or put wax paper behind there. I like doing it like this better than the wax paper because it's going to stick no matter what. This way I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places that it can actually stick, and those places are really, really small compared to a whole sheet of wax paper. So we'll do that over here. I got the rest of the dead eyes made up, and this board is from the one we did earlier in the forward mast, so I should be able to use it on here. And then when I get the other side done on the bottom and the top on the main and the forward mast, then I'll just cut the bottom of the board off so it'll fit in there for the one in the back. And then that will also fit for the top because that's short too. So I have to make it fit. Because you know, the strings, the rat lines don't start until up here above the choker on the shroud. So theoretically the board only needs to be, you know, a little ways up, and that should work for these other spots up top where it's really short. Well, good progress this week. This was something I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever waiting for the glue to dry on each one of those times where I'm holding it from both sides with an alligator clip. Just one rat line at a time. Well, man, I just did however many there is there in 10 minutes. Can't beat that. Thanks for watching.